This week's going to be a little all over the place. I have family coming into town because it's the holiday season. That's what happened. So I'm going to have trouble finding a lot of time to read, but I'm going to be finishing volume 3 of Jack Townsend's Tales from the Gas Station. This is a creepypasta like horror story that I'm not exactly sure what is happening. It's very confusing, very convoluted, but it's humorous. Last week I was having trouble finishing this book, but this week I'm getting it done. I'm also finishing up Change the World, which is a nice thriller body swap detective manga that I find quite compelling. I think I have 5 more volumes left in that series. I'm going to finish up these books so that way I can focus on the final 2 books of 2024, Nation by Terry Pratchett and The Raven's Tower. So let's get this week done. Welcome to the reading vlog. I love a good mystery. Change the World, Tales from the Gas Station, great mystery stories. Very thrilling, very convoluted, very interesting, compelling, intellectually stimulating. I love a good mystery. It's a wonder why I don't read more mystery novels, more detective stories, because I love not knowing what is happening. I love the discovery. I love getting little details along the narrative that make everything create a more clear picture, and then you encounter a plot twist, and you gotta reconsider everything you've ever encountered. And both of these stories are doing that. Change the World starts off just a regular body switch manga. Loser switches bodies with a guy who has everything put together, figures out that guy is a serial killer. Pretty interesting, pretty compelling, pretty thrilling. Tales from the Gas Station. It's mysterious because what is the deal with this gas station? Why is all these crazy things happening there? Tales from the Gas Station is very much like the Twilight Zone or like Supernatural kind of put together in a gas station setting. Change the World though, I every volume I'm encountering another plot twist, and I still am not sure where exactly the narrative's going to end, but it's a body swap story. So you know both characters are going to have a better point of view of what they had before the switch, and I can't wait to figure out when that's going to happen. Thursday. We have the house back to ourselves. Time to get back into the reading groove. It's nice having house guests. It's nice to have the presence of friends and family to enjoy, but also it's nice not to have to worry about entertaining people that are staying with you. Tales from the Gas Station Volume 3. I think I've started to recognize something, and I'm not sure if it's a positive or a negative, but I've been thinking about it a lot. Character deaths. It used to be when you read books, it seems like when I was younger, that most books did not kill off important main characters, particularly friends of the main character or protagonist. And it's like in traditional fantasy, what made it so spectacular is that everybody or almost everybody made it to the end of the story because it's a fairy tale. It's meant to be unrealistic. It's fake. It's fantasy. It's escapism. It's meant to be unrealistic. People survive. It's not the real world. But within the last 30 years or so, it's very common for fantasy and science fiction stories to kill off main characters and because like it's high stakes. It's important. Thursday, we have the house back to ourselves. It's nice. I'm not going to lie. I love the presence of friends and family. I love entertaining guests, but also it's a stress, even if you enjoy yourself. And it's nice not have to worry about watching a Thursday. We have the house back to ourselves, so now it's time to get back into the reading groove. Tales from the Gas Station, Volume 3. I started to recognize something about the series. I'm not sure whether it's good or bad, but it is something that is peculiar and specific to this series. Character deaths. You know, it used to be the stories I was reading or the stories we were exposed to 20, 30 years ago. What made them spectacular, what made them fairy tales, what made them fantasy is that they were unrealistic. Characters almost never died. At least important characters almost never died. And if they died, they didn't stay dead. They either are resurrected or they weren't dead to begin with. And that was very common in most epic stories because you want the reader to enjoy the reading experience. Because if they enjoy it, they will read it again. They'll talk to their friends about it. But if they have conflicting emotions, both good and bad, who knows how they truly feel about that? I think most consumers nowadays are willing to read books that don't make them feel good. And that's why you're seeing a rise in grimdark and gritty fantasy and like grimdark and gritty science fiction stories that are realistic and hopeless sometimes because it's realistic. It keeps the story grounded in reality. It makes the story and the characters more relatable. But in Tales from the Gas Station, character deaths are so common that they lose their significance. Like, you're supposed to feel sad. There's supposed to be some emotional response to characters dying, especially characters that you grow to love, characters that are the good guys, characters that are friends to the protagonists. But somehow, there are plenty of character deaths in Tales from the Gas Station, but the stakes don't seem high because the emotional impact of these character deaths never hits the reader because of the comedic, darkly humorous tone. And I'm not sure if I like that. I'm not sure if I hate it, but it is something very special, something very strange about this series. Characters are killed off left and right, and they're good guys. They're characters that you like, they're characters that you enjoy reading about, but their deaths just ring hollow, or at least their deaths don't seem significant. And maybe it's because maybe in this setting, without getting into spoilers, the dead people aren't truly dead. And I don't know. The character deaths, I really feel like if you're going to kill off a character, it should mean something. It shouldn't just be an event that has no significance, that leads to no growth from the protagonist or main character. I finished volume 3 of Tales from the Gas Station, and it was really good. It was really neat. Definitely the best installment of the series, which is very funny because last week I had to stop reading it because I was like, this is the worst installment of the series. The author really took the narrative in a direction I wasn't anticipating, and I think he pulled it off masterfully. This is really a creepy, compelling, all over the place fever dream. And the ending of this was chef's kiss. Beautiful. This series has it all. Grand conspiracies, government agents, doppelgangers, ancient gods, terminal illnesses, the power of friendship, mutated raccoon, and that's all like in the first 20 pages. And it just gets wilder. And it's just really something special. Character deaths, they don't feel like character deaths because people are constantly dying. And it's like you're never emotional, you're never able to grieve because like you can't really trust if they're actually dead because is our protagonist, right in his mind? Can we trust him when he says this character's dead? And we're never sure. And I really love the ending of this. I think it's really something special. I'm not one of those people who will say, like, yo, this series is really good if you read the first several books, because I'm a fan. I'm a believer that if you're not enjoying the first few installments of a series, don't push through it. I think that's Stockholm Syndrome. I think if you hate the first several books in the series and you're like, wait until book 4, 5, 6, 7, it's not a good series. It's unbalanced. But if you read the first installment of Tales from the Gas Station, you're like, that's okay. That's satisfactory. This is mediocre, a little strange. I think you'll really love where the story goes in Volume 3. I can't wait to tackle Volume 4 next month in January. This is definitely going to be the first series I finish in 2025. Now on, I just have to finish the last 12 chapters of Change the World Tomorrow, and that story is also going all over the place. That manga is also a fever dream, and I wasn't sure if it was my cup of tea until about chapter 11. So lots of good, exciting, thrilling, convoluted plots I'm tackling this week. Sunday, I finished Change the World. It was pretty dang special. It was exciting, it was thrilling, it was mentally stimulating, good emotional catharsis at the end. I love body swap stories because at their core it's all about walking a mile in someone else's shoes, growing to understand another person, realizing that the life you left behind was worth living. And Change the World on all counts gave me everything I was looking for in a body swap story. There was 5 plot twists that were really good in this manga. 5 plot twists in only 25 chapters, which is about 5 volumes, I believe. Yeah, Change the World had me on my toes. 2 of those plot twists got me Three of them I was kind of expecting. All in all, pretty topsy-turvy, twisted narrative that I found very intellectually stimulating. So, speaking of plot twist, I feel like there's a difference between the difference between a bad plot twist and a good plot twist is a good plot twist changes the context of the story, but doesn't make everything that happened before pointless. It doesn't make the narratives and details you've learned along the way useless. A great plot twist should be one of those things where right before it's about to happen, you're like, oh no, wait, this is what's happening, and boom, it happens. A plot twist should never leave the reader, the viewer, the watcher angry because they're blindsided, because it doesn't make sense. A plot twist should make the story make more sense. And Change the World did that. There was plenty of plot twists. All of them made sense. All of them made the plot more understandable. All of them made the morals and themes and lessons from this story more digestible. So in that respect, really good manga. Change the World and Tales from the Gas Station Volume 3. Two great thriller, horror adjacent stories that follow very funny protagonists who are fighting against impossible odds, monstrous individuals, and they're making great friends along the way. And both protagonists in both of these works really learned to value themselves and see themselves in a more positive way. And I love that. I love misfit characters growing to love themselves without anything outward in their life really changing. Because you, at any time in your life, can choose to be happy. You could choose to be fulfilled. You could choose to be a different person any moment moving forward. And I loved that. I love the themes. I love the morals of this week. Next week, I'm going to start Nation and The Raven Tower. The Raven Tower is a book that I'm reading at the book club that me and my friend started a month ago. The second book we started to read. I know nothing about The Raven's Tower. Nation is on my list of books, like 10 standalone books to read in 2024. Nation is one of the only few ones I'm actually getting to. So next week is looking to be a very good reading week. This week was awesome, very rejuvenating. I can't wait to see what the stories have in store for me. Oh, and also, I have a table, so I don't need to hold my mic. Thank you guys for watching this week's reading vlog. I'll talk to you guys next time.